Hey, it's MK, and I am back with 31 days of cut file fun. And today I thought I would do something just a hair different. So I pulled out some yellow labels that I have. One of them was from Simple Stories, and the other one is Color Theory by Simon Says Stamp. I also have a few of the acrylic heart or stars that come in my Hearts, Stars, and Hexagons Oh My collection. And then I also pulled out these awesome chipboard letters. I absolutely love these, and they are called Maggie. Yes, I never remember those, you guys, but I'm not sure if they're available. I've only purchased one. Oh, normally I buy two. Anyways, I'm also pulling out some Minte papers. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to find the cover sheet for this, and then I remembered that I cut it out. I cut all the cut aparts, and that's where it's at. So it took me a minute, but they're Minte papers, and it's the childhood collection. I also have the cardboard stickers from the childhood, which we usually call them chipboard. So that's kind of weird that they call them cardboard. And then this is where I remembered that the packaging was on the back of the little cut aparts. So I've already cut all those apart, and then I'm going to flip through a couple of the papers really quickly. So one side has a really cool mural, almost like artwork put on there, and then the other side is workable background paper or pattern paper. So I'm just going to go through really quick. Actually, it's not really quick at all because I want you guys to take in all of the artwork that's done. I mean, this stuff is absolutely gorgeous. So we have blue stars, yellow stars, polka dot stripes. This is kind of cool. What kid wouldn't want one of those in there? Some really cool rainbows, which I think are kind of neat because it's 2 or 3 colors and it makes a rainbow. That's really cool. And then here's a floral. It looks like a viney floral, and then it's got a hopscotch board on the back. That's kind of cool. And lastly, there are some cut apart cards, which are murals on one side and then really cool frames on the other. And then you get 2 of each piece of paper. The only thing you don't get 2 of unless you pre-order it is the cut apart sheets. So anyways, today I'm going to be working with some Polaroid photos, which these ones aren't actually Polaroid. These are Fuji Instax. And so one of the things that I have learned over the years with Polaroids or Insta film like this is you can't cut them apart. You have to have that white border in order to keep the photo. And unfortunately, I didn't have an extra one that I really wanted to practice with to see if the Fuji ones are the same or the newer Polaroids are the same. So I'm also working with a cut file. It's one of my favorite ones from Christina. It's this grid, and then every now and then it's got a number or a letter attached into the grid, which I thought was just amazing. I was trying to decide which background I wanted to use for my layout, and then I'm going to take the grid and go and spray it with a yellow Altenew spray. Also, I'm going to take my Polaroid, and at first I thought I was going to be able to use the charcoal brush glitter marker from Close to My Heart, but it resisted. It was not like an alcohol marker, and it did not stick to the what's it called, like the slickness of this. So basically what I'm trying to do is I am just trying to give the Polaroid a little bit of color and a little bit of texture by taking this alcohol marker. Now this is a basic black by Stampin' Up! Blends, and it's an alcohol marker that it's really cool because once you put the first coat on and then you go back to put another coat on, it kind of does this watercolor effect. And so I was just trying to give it a little bit of character, because I can't cut it off. I can't do anything with it, or at least I don't want to risk doing anything with it. Back in the day with the Polaroids, they said that if you took it apart, then the entire photo would just disappear. It's that instant something or another that causes that. And if you take it apart, it goes away. The photo is ruined. And so yeah, I'm not really sure if the newer models like these Fuji Instax are the exact same technology or not. So I don't want to risk it because I don't have an extra photo to test it. Anyways, took all those frames and decided to cut them out. That way I could put a little bit more emphasis on the fact that these are the Polaroid print. I guess Polaroid is a name brand, so I should call them Instax, or what are they called when you got the instant development thingy? I don't know. Polaroid's the only word I've ever used. Anyways, yeah, going through all the embellishments and choosing out all of my chipboard pieces that I wanted to play with on my layout while my grid is drying. I'm just trying to use up the time, to pick all this stuff. I always tell my kids, to stay productive. Even if you're waiting for the water to boil, it's good to stay productive. So I went ahead and I did all that. And then I have to take my little stars. I have to take the paper off of my little stars. Now, something that helps me save time when I make something out of acrylic is to leave the paper on, because it's very time consuming to take all those little backings. There's a back on the front and the back. There's a backer paper on the front and the back of all of my acrylic pieces. And so just to help me save time and not bump up the price, I leave that on there. As annoying as it is, one person taking it off of one is better than one person taking it off of 20. So anyways, I know, just the struggles. Here is my grid paper. I absolutely love how it turned out, and I decided to put some of it at an angle in a corner and the other half at the other side. So there's a little gap in my, in my grid between the papers. And so you can kind of get a little peek of the florals coming out and whatnot. I at first thought that I was going to have to pick a different background, but I absolutely love how this looks and how dark my photos are. It's kind of represented in the darkness of the center of the flowers. So to help my chipboard pieces stand out just a little bit more, I'm going to take my my black marker and outline the edges of them. And I feel like that helps. I also have a little chipboard sticker that says "Come and Play," and then I'm going to take my frames and put them around the Polaroid pictures, because like I said, I kind of want to put an emphasis on the fact that these aren't regular photos. So normally what I would do way back in the day when I had a ton of these types of pictures, I actually cut out holes. So that way all I saw was the picture, because I wasn't able to cut, trim the picture down at all. I cut out holes in my backgrounds. And hoped that, I didn't have a crooked eye. So yeah, I definitely did not enjoy scrapbooking this type of photo. But now with all the stuff that is available to us, these alcohol markers and things like that, I feel like once I decorated the alcohol or, put the alcohol marker around the photo and changed the color and gave it a little bit of texture, it's almost like I matted it. So I really like that. I really like how it looks, and it doesn't stand out. And then of course overlapping them and putting embellishments around them, you're also not going to be able to tell what that they were one of those types of photos. All right, so I'm going to lay the title down, and I have to manipulate quite a few alphas because I don't have enough T's and I don't have enough N's. So I took my number 1 and trimmed off the little hangy bit up at the top and flipped it upside down so I had a T. And now I'm taking a W, which is going to give it a little bit of like a italicized look to it, but I cut off one of the wings of the W to make an N, and then I think it blends. I think it looks okay having altered words. You get the idea. But my title is #anything, because in the photo above us and the background that we are standing behind, it says, "When I grow up, I want to be." And of course, because we've got 4 of us sitting there drawing down what we want to be, I just decided to go anything, because I only took a picture of my daughter's whiteboard of what she wanted. The boys actually erased theirs before I had a chance to get a picture of it. But she wanted to ride horses. She wanted to be a horse rider. So I thought that was pretty cool, because I'm not really sure if that's what she still wants to be. It'd be kind of cool to look back on what it is and whatnot. But we had fun. This was during our one of our picnics that the company that I used to work for does. And the boys, in fact, if you look close enough, the boys are all wearing eye patches. And that was because they did a little game. It was a safety game that showed if, you were injured and you lost an eye, how your depth perception changes and whatnot, and how difficult things really are if you were to be handicapped. So one of the boys got to lose his hand and the other one got to lose his eye. And then, of course, the boys all got to have eye patches because it's like not just one. So yes, it's pretty neat. They also have a simulator there. It's a trailer that you can, they program it. So like this particular one, every year it's a different piece of equipment, but the kids get to go in and like say the one that they had this year was a grader. And so they got to go in and it's a simulator, so it simulates driving one of those pieces of equipment. And it's not like neither of us are those drivers. Being a mechanic, we get to drive them every now and then, but not actually operate them for long periods of time. And so the kids got to go in there, and of course, every single one of them crashes because they're quite difficult and they're quite large. But it's one of the kids' favorite things to do is check out the simulators, especially in a haul truck, because it changes your perception from when you're in a car. Now you're, 60 feet up in the air and, trying to drive around and see around you and get the reality of it. And the kids just absolutely love it. And I love the fact that the company wants to raise that kind of awareness. So anyways, what I'm doing is I'm just gluing everything down and making sure that I didn't miss anything. I do like to flip my pages all over the place just to make sure that, I don't want to lean over my layout, and two, it's just easier for me to flip and flop my layouts around to glue things down. I'm going to glue some of these acrylic stars down. Now I don't use all of them, but I do love how they blend in with this collection really well, and they add a little bit more depth. I have a lot of layers going on, and I only popped up my little open book next to the rocket ship. And so I thought that all the different dimensions on this layout it's kind of almost like an optical illusion because everything seems flat, but because you have the stacked books, that seems like dimension. And then you have the photos on top of the photos with the frames behind them, that adds dimension. And I don't know, I really enjoy this layout, even though it is massively busy for what I am used to. I totally never do such a busy background like this before, but in all honesty, I just ignored it and went with it and just love the results of it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really, truly appreciate it. Be sure to check out what Christina is doing and how she uses this cut file today, and I will check you guys all later. All right, bye.